I literally just got home from swimming. If anybody follows me on Instagram, you saw my swimming. That wasn't me, that was my chick swimming. I had a blast today. Today was a really good day. Come back, and mailbox is full. I got this. I'm going to open this up today and take a look at it. And got the M5, and then also the strap so that you can use it like a smartwatch music player. And then also K5 Pro. Looking forward to this actually a lot. The Q5s is probably the main one. And then I've also got the Lancelot. And another of the series of the Paladin, I think that they're called. So that will the next will be one of those Fearless. The first one is going to be this one. Plastic has already been removed in consideration for Jeff and other people that are sensitive to plastic. Not as sensitive to foul language, but the plastic is definitely something that they don't like. So, that off. This is a DAC amp combo, and this is exceptional for a few reasons. I haven't opened this one, but the Q5, it's got a hardware bass boost, and if you're familiar with using DSPs or having essentially something that is putting more voltage via a switch, I'd much rather use a hardware bass switch done correctly than I would to EQ up the bass. If I could, I'd rather do what this gives me. And that FiiO's Q1 Mark II does this. FiiO is really, really good in this area. I think the Q1 Mark II is absolutely outstanding. I think the Q5 is really great. I gravitated towards the Q1 Mark II more because of its slim profile. I just thought the sound of that was fantastic. Like the Q5, but the Q1 Mark II was just dope. FiiO is very interesting because I didn't wreck the FA7, the FH7, the FH5. Not fans of that, but I love their music players. From the X5 first gen, loved it. It used to do themes with Relic and FiiO, if FiiO sees this. We used to battle. We used to actually have drama about who was the most original, and I was clearly not. But we did good work. But that was fun as hell. And that was based around the X5 first gen, which was really good, man. That was a great music player. I loved it a lot. FiiO does good. Their issues were their software development. As with everybody, you can go ask. I won't even name the companies because they've asked me in the past. Never recently, but they've asked me in the past. Please don't bash that. So I won't. But there are other companies that are currently going through very major issues with the lack of cohesion of the firmware. If you're looking at my hands like, what am I doing? This is training season for me, so my hands are always messed up. The lack of cohesion between the software and the hardware is what some other companies are going through. FiiO, not with this device, but with their M11, have reached the point where their hardware is really good and the software that is laid over that is really good as well. So you've got a really good player at a really good price. Now that I've spent, let me check the time, 3 minutes 47 seconds. Let me go ahead and open this up. I'm going to do a full review on this. I'll give a short, in a few days. I got to kind of figure it out. I got a ton of stuff. You guys know I don't script, and I don't really do anything that would remotely resemble like organized. But here I am. We got the color indicators. I have OCD, you guys know that. I also have ADHD, which is amazing combo. Looking at lights and colors to indicate stuff, I like that a lot. I kind of expect it. If I'm playing LDAC, I want to see the color to confirm that. I want confirmation of what I'm doing. And that's in the Chinese version. Go ahead and take this out. If you hear that sound in the background, it's aircon. It's about 93 degrees right now, so please bear with me. And on the side, we have, you would pair that. This would be back, previous. This would be next, forward. This would be play, pause, and also pair. This would be a reset button, I believe. There's your screw to remove the amp module. Their latest music players are eschewing, they're getting away from the removable amps for reasons that I'm not sure of, but they're continuing it with the Q5. So if you've got your amps with your X7 or you bought one for the other Q5, you are back in business again with this, which is, I think, a good idea. On this side, you've got your indicator lights to tell you coaxial, optical, USB, line, and USB. Let me do that again, it's not sound like a moron. Coaxial, optical, line, USB, and input. It'll give you an indicator. Lighten up. Okay. On the top, this is where this thing shines right here. Low and high gain, yeah, fine. This is critical for me, this bass switch. There's a lot of items that don't really need much except that button right there. They do everything well. For example, the P1 by Tin Hi-Fi. I haven't tried it yet, but when I do my review, that's going to be one of the things. I'm very, very confident that simply hitting the switch on this device is going to turn the Tin Hi-Fi P1s into close to flawless. The one issue that I have with that set is sub bass. I don't know where this bass is centered. I would imagine somewhere between 75 and 55 hertz would be the peak of that hill if you were to visualize it, with the slopes probably elevating the sub bass, I would imagine. So this would be something that would help that, and a lot of other IMs that lack a little bit of body and a meat in the bass. And sometimes just doing that is all people want. You'd be stunned how many people are not into EQ. Stunned. You would think that that's, you don't want to use that because it's like correction. Why am I using EQ if something's good? Well, because you can make it perfect for yourself. A lot of people prefer not to do that. For people like that, I'm telling you, if you have not experienced a hardware bass boost yet, you listen to music in the way that you like, you have a couple brandies, you listen to your music again and relax, and then turn the bass switch on, and you're enjoying a little bit more. Maybe not in your normal self, but when you got a little buzz on, that tipsy from a couple days ago is in my mind right now. You hit that bass switch and just chill. It's kind of like a warmth surrounds you, which I don't need in 90-degree weather, but you guys know what I mean. On the bottom of the device, I've got my 4.4 Pentacon. Yes. And I've got balance 2.5. I've got two balance right here. If I looked at that, I would have seen that right there. Balance, balance, durr. It's literally connecting the dots. There you go, Chris. Just for you. 4.4, 2.5. And then we've got, it looks like micro B still. It might be C, but it might be. Do I care? No. Don't care at all. And then you've got your regular 3.5. And then on the top, you've got optical, coaxial, and then you've got line out. And it's got the like full leather on the back to keep it from sliding on the table. So this will be coming probably in a couple days. I'm going to listen to it with the P1s. I'm going to listen to it with a couple other things. I'm going to pair it with my Note 4 that I've been using forever. Somebody sent me a mail the other day and was like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to know what kind of gear you're using. I said, you don't want to ask me. I used a Note 4 for my camera for 2 years. I got 7,000 subscriptions using a Note 4 camera. I don't know what that means. It's not a good thing. I guess I'm just really lucky. It comes with I could have used this today, actually. my GoPro, I forgot the strap, and I was afraid I was going to drop it. Comes with 4 bands. Most people don't tend to use the bands except for emergency. They use the potapita, or that stuff that if you've got, I don't know if that would work with this actually. So you might actually need that, but I would probably put some kind of a Velcro or a different kind of, I'm not a band person, but they're there for you. And you've got your cable for using with the iDevice. The recent iDevices are USB-C, but this is, you got your lightning cable to micro B. I can confirm that's what that is. And then you've got your mini to mini 3.5 to 3.5, so that you can connect this to your phone's headphone out if you wanted to do that. You'd probably be better going through USB. This would be your charging and data transfer cable. Again, micro B. I'm not really concerned with that. A lot of people get upset about that because of transfer speeds. I got other things in life to worry about. That's not one of the bigger ones. And you got a SPDIF and optical. So you got all the typical goodies to get you going. I'm basically going to be using USB. They don't have, you've got your, what are they using there? That looks like I might be able to open up another thing that I was wondering. So you've got your tool to remove your amp, of course. I bought another device that had a removable amp, but they don't give these. They give this to you when you buy the next amp. Genius. Not really, because I sold that thing. This is spare screws because they're as small as they look and you might lose them. Then you got the literature that goes with it. Quick start user's guide. And then you've got a pad to put between this and something else. If you wanted to put this side out. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that, you could use a potapita on this side and connect it. Then again, my Note 4 doesn't. I would probably put it on this side. You wouldn't want to put anything on this. And you might want to protect it using this. So it's included. FiiO's been doing really, really good for quite a long time. I think the thing that got on people, to be totally blunt with everybody, is the software. There was issues. There was growing pains live, and people felt like beta testers, and I'm not going to argue with that. I was one of, same. The first 7 or 8 FiiO items I got, I paid for with my own cash. I only ever got approached later on, much more down the road. But I was a fan because I paid with my own money, long before I did reviews. One complaint, I guess I would say, is that if you're an iDevice user, you're good to go. And if you're not, then you're... So if I wanted to use a micro B to micro B or micro B to micro C, I guess everybody probably has that cable already. But us Android users, you know, we don't get a lot of love. Odyssey makes earphones with the cable designed for iDevices. It happens all the time. I don't remember if, I think I might have an older cable that was actually micro B to micro B, which is the Note 4. So this is the device. I've spent 13 minutes. I won't give listening impressions. I'll give you a heads up. This probably sounds really good, and my review is going to say that, and I'm going to show the songs that I listen to. The more important thing that I'm going to be talking about is the bass boost, and I'm going to measure that and try to see exactly where it is and about how much it's making a difference, so that you can calculate that into this is in your life. For me, that's a big selling point, is the hardware bass boost. We're not talking about 10 dBs up. We're talking about polite. They've always been fairly conservative with their bass boost, not like some other companies that I can't think of off the top of my head. Vorzug, I think they got some. The Cayin, that had a big bass boost. This probably not quite as much, but done well. I've never heard anybody say that FiiO bass boost is just too much for me. I haven't heard that. So this will be coming up. I might do this with a review and introduce one of the Paladin one of the new Fearless models, and then I'll also be getting to the other FiiO. So thank you to FiiO. You guys have always been good. I've never gotten any kind of a bad vibe, and I tend to like every other item. A headphone, not really. M11, love it. Another headphone, not really. Another music player, love it. Another headphone, not really. FH1, love it. And people say, FH1, that's your favorite? It fits in my ear like hearing aid. It sits in my ear perfectly. It's not that most resolving item, but it's really, really nice, and it's got plenty of bass. And for the price, yeah, easy rec, still to this day. I love that set. So this is the Q5s. The details of it are available on the internet for you to view. That's another thing that let me tell you about FiiO. I'm going to extend. This is important. I'm so glad I remembered this. When I was first getting into the hobby and I was doing bass videos, that's how I started out. I grew up on rock and roll, and then I did like what people do when they're in their teens, and I started to get into hip hop because it made other people annoyed, like disturb the peace pretty much. So I went through that phase, and when I was doing the headphones, what you would do is you'd sometimes, before you bought an amp, you'd like to know what its output power was into a certain impedance. Like if a 32 ohm impedance, the output is what? 16. Like those are two numbers that are pretty common to be wondering about. And when I would go to FiiO's site, they would have everything broken down. They would have everything broken down. I knew exactly how much power a FiiO was going to give me. I didn't have to buy it to check. I didn't have to get somebody else's review. I could look because they have a giant grid explaining everything with all of the other stuff, the total harmonic distortion, the signal to noise ratio, all of that stuff. But I really, really needed to know how much power is this going to give me into a 32 ohm load. How much am I going to get out of this? Where another company says 2.1, you know, they give you the, well, just break it down. FiiO's been doing it for years. For years they've been doing it. And then I go to another site and they're giving me another standard. Why? Well, just give me all the info and then let me decide. FiiO is great about that. They compare themselves to other models that they have sometimes, and you can calculate, like, people would say, how about this amp? And I'd say, you know what, for that set, I think you ought to get the other FiiO, because that's going to be cutting it close. Your headroom is going to be minimal. It'll power it. It'll be good. It's clean. It's got a good background, dark, like you can't hear anything, but you're cutting the line. Go check online again. The other ones may be better. They could look for themselves. I can tell you right now, you can go look at FiiO's site and you can go look at the specs of this, and it will tell you exactly what, if it's up yet. When it is, all the info that you can imagine is like a buffet right in front of you. So you can think about what you need to power, and that you can figure it out based on this amp or another amp. So FiiO is outstanding in that regard. So I've been recommending them highly for a very long time, because the ability for you to just sit at your own leisure and look at a screen, whether it's on your phone or on a PC, and say, yeah, my other one is a little bit more than that. You can make a more informed decision based on stone cold measurements, instead of somebody saying, I can drive my blah blah, my Sen 6 whatevers, no problem, trust me, you'll be good. No. Drive. Can something drive another item? Is it's a funny word. What you say can drive something fine, I might say, that's not enough. I wanna fucking drive. So you can check yourself and estimate based on if any other gear that you've got and what its output power is, compare it with what this specs, and then think that it will do it, or another model would do it, or this is overkill, I could get that other one and that would do it fine. FiiO gives you all the info that you need, and I love that about, because I don't like hunting for info when I make purchases. FiiO never made me do that, so that's why I spent my money on FiiO a long time ago and wouldn't spend it on other companies, because they wouldn't break it down into, 16, 32, and then maybe 300. three good numbers that I can wrap my brain around. How much power is this thing? It's an amplifier. This has got a DAC in it too, but the amps, how much power does an amp put out? That's not a difficult question to answer. Why am I asking people on forums about that? This, I don't know what it puts out with this amp, but all I have to do is click on the internet and I'll find out. 20 minutes of your life. Again, totally stole it. FiiO, I love you people. I love you. Thank you guys so much. I had an awesome swimming day, and then to come and see this, what a good day. What a wonderful day. And I'm out, and you'll be seeing this in lots of videos because it's going to piggyback on the back of my Note 4 and I'm going to listen to it. You guys have a great day. I had an awesome day, and I'm out.